Hi, I'm Rob and welcome to another TW White & Sons video review. Today's vehicle is a Mazda CX-5 2-litre SKYACTIV-G Sport Nav Plus automatic. So this is a 2-litre 165 horsepower engine. It's a front wheel drive vehicle running through a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Looking lovely in the sun today in a snowflake white pearl. So it has a nice sheen to it. It's not a solid white, there is an alternative called Arctic, but this is definitely the Snowflake. Being a Sport Nav Plus, you've also got other features which you would identify with the privacy glass running through the rear windows and the tailgate. 19-inch alloy wheels in a bright silver. Twin exit exhaust at the rear, again denoting the 2-litre engine. There's a quick identifier to spot that between that and the diesel. Things at the back of the car, you've got rear tailgate which is powered, you've got a rear camera just under the number plate aperture there, and rear parking sensors at the rear. Full LED lights at the back, and they accompany the front LED lights too. And of course, the last thing of note, on the side you have keyless entry around the driver's door handle, and then back to the front of the car. Full automatic lights with a high beam function, which is really useful in dark conditions, where it will ping the high beam up and down for you, and an automatic light sensor for when it's dark. Front sensors also, so there was a ring of sensors all around the car, making it easy to park, that and the camera. So let's go back to the rear of the car. It's quite clean, quite tidy, there's no chips, scratches or marks that are apparent. If there are any, they'll be certainly looked after before the car is sold. So to enter the boot, you either use the fob or touch under the badge and it powers up. Okay, equally you can shut the boot from the button inside the car just here. But presenting with a large boot area with a 40-20-40 split and a very easy way to fold these seats. So you have levers here, pull that and this will fumble down. Two more, one in the middle for the middle seat and one on the outer for the last seat. So they all fold down nice and flat. You've also got a bit more storage below. There is a BOSE subwoofer in the boot which links to the 10-speaker BOSE audio system, which sounds really, really nice. You'll also note no spare wheel, but a foam and a compressor unit to allow you to reinflate a punctured tyre. Fully removable parcel shelf. Again, actually can be stored under the floor as well. Just dropped into the areas where there's two indents, and that can be stored in the car. So, super simple to use. Power tailgate buttons here, and away it goes. Into the back of the car, which I'll just need to put these back up again. So, dead easy, just use by hand, and push until it clicks. Same again with the other two seats. And they're all back in position nicely. There's actually another recline angle on these, so again, use the button at the top here, and they can go back one extra notch, just for a little bit more comfort. We have ISOFIX. This is for children's safety seats, and these are on the two outer seats here and here. Same on the other side, and then pull out armrest with storage for drinks and other bits and pieces. And more importantly, two USB-Bs in there, so you may need a B to C converter if your phone needs it. Rear AC controls, or vents rather, and a nice leather interior with a copper type stitch and nice perforations running through the bits where your bum and your back rest on. Complemented also on the door cards with nice stitching points here, some wood, a little bit more chrome, and a nice gloss black trim panel around the electric window switch. Coming back up to the front of the car, while I'm at the door mirrors, these are power folding, heated, and they have a blind spot indicator. It's very faint to see, but it does flash brightly when there are vehicles coming behind you, left or right sided. So inside the car, all your main controls, windows, mirrors, such like, are on the door cards. Powered by BOSE with the speakers, so that's denoted on the door card, and on the tweeters on the A-pillars. Again, front driver and passenger seat trimmed very similarly to the rears, so again a nice copper stitch, more perforation. These are actually heated on the base, fully electrified with two different memory positions for two different drivers, and that will link your seat and your mirrors together, so you can easily move the seat about from one button pushed. We have a series of the switches here, mostly saying off, meaning that these are all on at the time that we look at it. So we have an i-stop function, which is the stop and go technology. So you have to induce it by coming to a halt in traffic, car will die, and then waiting for you to hit the throttle lightly to restart the engine when the time is right to move forwards. We've also got lane departure system. Again, if you're going to drift out of the lane, car will subtly nudge you back in, give you an alert as well. And you've got traction control system, again front drive car, so it controls the front wheels from slipping, but also can brake up to 4 wheels independently to keep the car stable, let's say on a wet roundabout or a slippery bend. Parking sensor off switch, useful really if you have, say, a rear fitted tow bar or a rear cycle carrier which hangs off the back of the tailgate, and again if you put it into reverse it would more likely engage and sense those items. So you could turn it off. Another power tailgate button internally, that accompanies the one on the fob and obviously the one on the boot lid. So let's hop on in. Inside the car, presented with a head-up display system. So this projects from the box just at the top of the dash, gives you your current road speed and actual speed. Box is just here, of course. Further to that, again, we have an analog and digital display on the dashboard. The right-hand display is actually digital, and on the left-hand steering wheel spoke, there's an info button, which if I cycle through, will give you things like range, it's a tripometer system, and also average fuel consumption. Then we've got another one of those for trip B. Tells you when the car is due a service, when it's actually turned on, that is. And of course it's got the lane departure bars. So we'd also use this technology for the second part of the steering wheel, which is on the right, which we have the adaptive cruise and also a speed limiter. But it uses this digital display to actually engage. So we can turn it on, we can then pick a gap, anything up to 2 seconds or back to half a second, and it will preserve that, including braking the car once its speed matches the vehicle in front. So if the vehicle in front brakes, you'll brake with it to a complete halt if needs be. So super useful, good on motorways, equally good in urban conditions when you're driving through townscapes. Also further to that, there is a speed limiter, and again you'd need to set this before you drive away, starting from 20, which is really useful with lots of 20-mile-an-hour zones prevalent everywhere, and easy to turn on and off. Again, just use the cycle button on the info and it will bring you back to your main screen. So we're further to that, we have a tablet here. Now this is controlled typically by the controller here. When you're stationary, as we are now, you can actually touch the screen itself. And of course, more importantly, in the glove box, lidded cubby between the seats, there is a little mobile phone signal, which means it's wired for Apple and Android CarPlay. Once you're plugged in, it'll pop up on there quite quickly. Further to that, we have other sources. So going back into audio, we also have FM, AM and DAB, Bluetooth, so it can just traditionally stream music and pair for your phone. And again, on the left-hand steering wheel spoke, you've got an ability to take and receive calls or send a voicemail. So streaming music there, or even indeed a CD player, which is quite a rarity these days. Coming back, we have again easy access buttons. So there's one for navigation from Mazda, assuming you're not using your mapping from your Apple Android CarPlay interface, but you've got Mazda's mapping again using the controller here. This simply twists, clicks, goes up, down, left and right, so it gives you all the function you need, including a backspace button. Easy access to a volume controller. Again, the driver has their own on the steering wheel, and an electronic parking brake, which in itself keeps this area clear for more drinks holders, more storage at the front of the car. It's gear shifter here, and an auto handbrake function, which means that next time you come to a halt, having engaged it, it will automatically bind the handbrake and then just dab the throttle to release lightly. Also got sport mode. Again, rock the switch up, shows you on the dash in orange, it says sport, and it will raise the shift point further around the rev range and more likely to kick multiple gears when you go for kick down. Again, alternatively, you can use the gear shifter itself, bringing it down into drive, moving it across into M, and then you can push and pull, fingertip light, and it will show you which gear you're in of the 6 on the digital display there. So good for taking control up and down hills, overtaking, or just a bit of a sporty drive, I guess. Coming down to the main sort of dash, we have heated steering wheel, super useful now, heated seats, which are effective because my bottom is very, very warm. And full climate control with individual left and right sided, so you can twist independently, have 2 different zones across the car, or simply synchronize them to the driver's preference, and again controlling from here. Fans below, and again airflow direction is around the car here. Heated rear window, also does the mirrors at the same time, so one button defrosts both the mirrors and the rear window. So in essence, a really nice example of a 6-year-old Mazda CX-5 2-litre 165 horsepower. This car is a 2-owner vehicle, currently with around 42,000 miles, and it has a full Mazda service history, last service both in September and MOT'd at the same time. So here we have it, one Snowflake White Pearl CX-5 all ready to be purchased. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Cheers.